it's Black History Month and
Yes, it
it's
is.
giving everything pro-black. What?
What?
I got my little
Girl,
black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Hey, right? So you already know what the vibe is. So welcome back to another episode of Who Woke the Savage. Super excited. It's your girl, Miss Well and Woke.
it's your girl, Lady A7.
And like we're coming at y'all on a different day, but y'all can still find this on YouTube later on this week. But just getting into some good stuff, right? Since we know there's been so many different craziness going on in the past couple of weeks, ever since Donald Trump got into office or whatever the case is, I feel like we were talking last week about surviving and thriving.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
feel like if you don't got your survival cape on or
What?
if you ain't ready right
You better
now,
start kicking it in the gear right about now. Right about now is the time to start kicking that thing in the gear. Whatever you had planned, whatever goals you had set, whatever things you wanted to do, things you need to get in order. If you don't got a passport, go get you one. Whatever you need to do, go and get yourself in order.
right? That real ID, the passport, everything.
Everything.
Have a little safety code word with your
Oh,
family, whatever you got to do.
safety
Get
code.
all of that
Get
together.
you some cash, keep it in your house. Don't rely on these credit cards. Get you some cash, put it in the house, get yourself prepared.
110%. And I feel like anybody that's in my immediate circle at this current point in time, if you're not thinking like that, then I can't rock with you. Like I'm talking about, I want money in the mattress type of energy.
No, for
I
real.
want
Shoebox money. I need shoebox money energy.
because I'll say this: taking the steps that I've made, I would say in this past couple of months on my own personal journey, I was telling everybody, I was like, look, I always invite my royals, a part of Miss Well and Woke community, to like journey with me. And I was like, in this one, it's not a drill. It is not a drill, royals. It is getting real out here. So,
Put on your
um,
heavy duty coats.
right. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I've had to start preparing people and saying anybody in my circle at this time, I need them to switch gears. I
Mm-hmm.
need them to switch gears real fast. And I feel like going out of the surviving into the thriving, now that we've worked on our personal healing, what are we doing next? Everybody in my team got to be on to the next phase.
No, for real, because it's like you have to be though. It's just so crazy that we're really like we talked about that shifting from surviving to thriving, and that's why I say you kind of gotta put yourself in that mentality to start thriving. Because if not, because of everything going on, you're gonna feel like you have to go back in survival mode.
100%. I feel like your relationships are going to be tested.
Yes.
And I feel like people are already seeing that now. Like we all got difference of opinion when it comes to how the world works and how it navigates. But I tell people like when you get into a space where everything starts to click for you and it starts to feel good, you can easily root out certain stuff. I tell people if I'm saving money and I'm in a space where I want to stack my bundles, you
Mm-hmm.
can't get me to go out here and do a lot of dumbass shit right now
I'm not.
because
I'm in the
stacking the
house.
coin is
I'm
important.
in the
You
house.
got to make it worth my while for me to do
I got a
it.
plan. I got a plan. It better be something highly important. I really got to come out for you because if I got a plan, like you said, you set in that motion. Well, look, I ain't spending money. I'm not doing this. I'm not. I'm doing what I need to do to get myself prepared for something. No, I'm not spending money on dumb stuff. I'm cooking my meals. I'm meal prepping. I'm doing what I got to do. I'm not sitting out here spending unnecessary money. I'm not doing it.
I tell you, I'm getting army strong. I'm up there. I'm in the gym. I'm lifting. I'm tri-stepping. I'm ladder.
Not
I'm
on
getting
me
all of
strong.
it. I'm getting it together all the way because I feel like now more than ever, it's really important for us to be our healthiest mentally, physically, spiritually, like
Emotionally, everything.
emotionally, everything. And I feel like the type of relationships that you aspire to, that's why you want people to go in the same trajectory. Because when they not with that same energy, it's going to blockade a lot of other stuff. You're going to feel heavily impacted when the people on your team are struggling to keep up.
That's a fact. Because the thing is, if you really like are down for your team, you're not gonna let them struggle. So now it's kind of one of those things like we talked about. What do we need to do? What let me put you on a path of like trying to get right. because you struggling is kind of like pulling me a little with you because I'm worried about you. So what do we need to do to get you in a place where that's not a thing?
Look, I'll tell everybody this. The first thing that I did as soon as the new year came in, and I tell everybody in my camp, everybody in my team what they needed to do. There's a box on Amazon. If you don't know, we not doing Amazon this month, but there was a box on Amazon that I purchased. You can still probably find that another company. I ain't gonna hold y'all, but it helps you save like $10,000. And literally is one of the things that I'm telling people to invest in as a purchase, just so they can bank some money to the side and keep a track of it. And it's
No,
one
for
of those
real.
types of savings box that you got to sit up there and drop on the floor, break a hammer, kick over or something just for you to get your money out. So it is a real good savings tool. And I feel like I was talking to a guy recently and he was just like, yo, it ain't even no point. The economy is going to do what it does. So it's no real reason to start saving money or stacking mad cash. And I was like, you
Say
got to
you
get
want to
off
be
my.
broke without saying you want to be broke. Cause no, stop. Stop.
You see, I'm talking about it's the mindset,
Say,
right?
say you want to struggle, I'll say you want to struggle. Look here, if not saving makes sense to you, okay, sit up here and worry about moving check to check if that works for you. And figuring out you got $20 till you get paid to put in your tank until you get paid again, and that works for you, go off. But no, thank you.
20-year-old me love to play. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
20-year-old was out here YOLOing, you know what I'm saying? Not really caring about what was going to happen 110% tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, this version of myself has made more informed decisions over my life. And I feel like a lot of us are starting to lock in with that mindset too.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I don't got
you
time to deal with anything that's not in that direction.
But you know what? I told people this too, because I just had a conversation like recently like that, where I'm like, you lock in differently, because like you said, your 20-year-old self also was making 20-year-old money. Your 20-year-old self was a totally different person. We are older with a lot more to lose. You look at life differently when you got a little bit of change. You look at life differently when you got your own place. You look at life differently when you got your own car, when you got you some money. Life looks different. You don't move how you was when you was 20. You ain't give a damn because you had I ain't give a damn money. You ain't had nothing for real. You was just
I
moving
didn't give a
around.
damn. Money was the best. I ain't even gonna hold you.
You
I
ain't give
don't
a
give a
damn.
damn was like flying to Jamaica on a Tuesday just cause.
Trying to figure out how you
That's
gonna
like that
get
was the
there.
I
You
don't
ain't
give a
gas.
damn 20s,
You
right?
okay?
But
Like how
it
I'm gonna get
is
there?
I'm paying bills. I got responsibility. What Tommy Pickles said, Rebecca the Rugrats, he got responsibilities or something like that. Yeah, that's where we at right now. I got responsibilities.
No, for
So
real. So
it's a
like I
whole
tell people
different
like,
ball game.
yeah, I tell people like, do you now got something to lose? You move differently when you got stuff to lose. You look at life different. You evaluate things differently when you got hella shit to lose.
I was like, I was saying I'm in my Bible study phase. Like I've been going to Bible study recently. Reconnect. That's a line in my spirit, getting right with the Lord. Like I said, we don't know what's going on out here, but
Let me tell you, and sometimes you gotta do it for other people. The God in me is saving you.
we certainly gotta pray for them, right? We gotta lay a little bit of a hand. So really, I was just thinking the other day we were sitting in Bible study and we were having a conversation, and the pastor was talking about people just going for walks, right? Just doing something real simple like going for a walk to get your mind clear and to promote like good physical fitness.
Mm.
And she was like, if you don't have a few people in your corner that you can grab and talk to that say like, let's go for a walk, let's go for a jog, a sprint, a hop, whatever you got to do to get active. Like you got to start connecting with the right types of people. And I was like, building those healthy relationships starts with some of those foundational skills. What
But see,
matters to you? What's like the most important thing about being healthy and fostering healthy relationships?
and this is why I tell people too, like, and because you're part of my circle. Thank you so much. Love you dearly. My circle, I feel like that's why I love the friends I have, because I got them multi-purpose friends. Like you can literally anything you want to do, you can do. So we can go from hey, going to a bar to hey, we're going to Fire and Ice. We're going to here. We're going to Sunday church service. We're going to a museum. we're going to an opera. We're going to different things. It's that multi-purpose friend. Like it's not just one circle. Some people are combined as one circle. So when you got that multi-purpose friend that can be like, hey, they can move like that. See, that's what works for me because we can literally do anything.
You know, but I also had to get better at something too. You have a pocket of people that you can consider those multi-purpose friends. Then you also have that group of people where it's like, I know what purpose this serves. And I'm going to be real. We got to keep it a stack, right?
Yeah.
There is the friend that you may kick it with at the restaurant. There's the friend that you may hang out with at the lounge. There's the
Mm-hmm.
friend that is the museum, that is the church goer, that is
Mm-hmm.
going to do some of those other like creatively inclined things. There are the people who would like to go to the shows and the plays or the
Mm-hmm.
concerts. And I'm going to tell you right now, those who get on a plane, different folks. I'm going to tell you something right now. If you got home money, stay home. You got out of town money, so we can roll out of town. Don't come out of
Our
town with
town
me.
money hit different. Our town money hit different. If you got stay, like you said, you got stay home money, go on, baby, stay home. Our town money, we not moving like that. Don't do
And
that.
we
We not
still
moving like
cool.
that.
And
We
this my whole thing is we can still be cool. We
in
can
the
still
states.
foster
In the states, we can be cool in the states.
but we can still have a positive relationship, right? My biggest thing is that you got to know what's real for you and you got to know what works for you. So I feel like anybody who's in that space, even if you can't be that multi-purpose person, I
Mm.
still need you to have a positive mindset. That's the biggest
But
thing for me. Like,
I feel like the other friend knows too, because I've known people who be like, they know you. And we've had this conversation where like we talk about this all the time when it comes to traveling. I'm not staying in any hotel. Your friends know who they dealing with. Like, hey, this the friend with like, if it's not this and up, we can't stay here because she's not going. I'm not staying at the Roach Coach Inn because you cool with dodging the Roach Inn there because that's comfortable for you. I'm not doing
you
that.
can't do it.
I'm not
Let me tell you
doing that.
now. I was like, and this is the reality, right? I feel like that's when you have to be on the same wavelength, right? If you feel like, hey, I want to go, I see that you're doing A, B, and C in this world, right? I see that you're traveling here. I want to go with you, but if I go with you, can we stay here? Because this is the most,
Cheapest hotel.
this is the type of grown that I am at this current point. You can stay anywhere that your money allows you. You can go eat anywhere that your pockets see fit. You can go do anything that you feel is in your might. But I'm gonna be over here.
I'll meet
And it's not a
you in the middle. I will meet you
it's
in the middle.
not a
Yeah,
disrespectful thing.
whatever
It's one of those
you whatever you can do that I like, if I'm like, oh, I'm doing this, we can meet up somewhere. That's fine. Like you said, if you can stay here on your budget, I'll be staying here. And then if I'm like, hey, I'm going to breakfast here, okay, we can meet each other. That's fine. We can, but I'm not staying there because that works for you, because that don't work for me.
I'm telling you, they said that if you take your 10 of your closest friends,
Mm.
everybody should be able to put their hands on a certain amount of money. That's just being
You know what's
realistic, right? When I say that,
crazy?
you take 10 friends, everybody should be able to touch base on at least $1,000. At least 1,000. If you got 10 friends that you could think of, and everybody couldn't circle around $1,000, it shows
Mhm.
you majority of your net worth, because your network is your net worth. So if everybody around you can't get it, it shows you the type of circle that you keep in.
That's a fact. But first of all, trying to find 10 friends though, that was deep.
Woo! You said terror, right? And
10, 10,
I was like, when you get old,
that was deep.
you
That was deep.
you said a
We
you said a whole word.
10
You said a whole
is
word. Just
deep. That's a deep number. Especially now at this age we at, 10 is that's rough. Like, go off though. If you got 10, if you got hardcore 10, bless your soul.
you
Hold on to them close.
you know, it's so funny. I started to explain to people, this is the age where you start to evaluate the difference between friendships,
And
acquaintances,
associates.
uh, to associates, right? And I feel like so many people, when we were growing up, everybody calls everybody their friend. And I used to look at people like that very weird. Like, I
My
would meet
sister,
somebody, they'd be like, oh,
my
we're really
brother,
good friends.
that's
I'd be like,
bro, that's sis. You met that man 2 weeks ago.
like,
That's your brother.
that's your brother? That's your sister? That's your cousin? And I'd
Mm-mm.
be like, okay, I'm going to tell y'all out here love y'all kinfolk, right? But at the same time, I was like, when you consider what the value of and what the strength of a relationship is before you start labeling people as your friends. Take a few things in consideration. Like, there's something that I do with a lot of the young people that I work with, right? And it's called like the pillars of trust. And I have them identify what's the most important things about their relationships. And they all say something different, right? Some people are going to say trust. Some people are going to say loyalty. Some people are going to say respect. Everybody's going to have something different that they feel like is their top priority for the relationship that they're in. When you realize that you and the person next to you value different things, don't mean that y'all can't be cool, but we should be on the same operating page. Whereas if self-respect and respect is at the top of yours, but loyalty is at the top of mine, we got to find a way to coexist and
Don't have a
still be,
problem.
yeah. And and so I realized that from doing that with a lot of the young people that I work with, they realized why some of their relationships were clashing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I feel like just being an adult, it also takes a role to me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It helped me also prioritize the types of connections and relationships.
No, because like you said, that's definitely important. But like you said, we can coexist. But like, if loyalty is here and you're like, loyalty don't mean that much to me, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. Because eventually, as much as you try to coexist, you're going to knock at one point.
Exactly.
Something's going to happen. A situation is going to happen where you're going to knock. Something's going to happen where you're going to be like, the way you moved on me with that is crazy. But that's because that's not prioritized to them.
Exactly. Like, it's like somebody who prioritizes trust, they may value honesty in a different way, right? So they feel like if somebody is dishonest, it's the same thing as the other person who feels indifferent to somebody who's disloyal.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a clash that exists in your relationships. Now, we can place them differently, but we all have to have them on the same list.
Mm-hmm.
It still has to be somewhere on your list. I need my friends to have that as still a part of their top 5 things that they consider their values or their morals when they enter into.
Yeah, but also, like we said too, the values, the morals, and the healing too, because you can sell a non-healed person in your area. A vibe, a aura runs up on you when you are dealing with somebody who ain't healed. And I'm not saying you have to be fully healed, because we're all working, we're all still doing the steps. But I mean, one of them people that like ain't try, ain't do the work, ain't even think about doing the work. Just, I'm good, ain't nothing wrong with me. That aura, when that comes up on you,
I can't even see myself sitting next to somebody in that space anymore. And I'm gonna be real with you.
that's
Like, I know
that.
that healing by nature is a journey. And I tell people that we're all going on a different path at different times, right? But when somebody is like resistant to change, when somebody doesn't even want to take the baby steps to identify what they need to do or how they need to do it,
What the problem
even
is,
when the tools are being sprinkled around them, I cannot even see myself connecting. That's when you have those quiet exits that people don't realize. That's when you're in those friendships where people are like, girl, I ain't hear from you. How come we ain't doing the same? What's going on with you? I had to quiet exit from you. Let me tell you something right now. I don't got to be loud about it. I had to slowly step myself back because you were not progressing in a space that allows for you to access your potential. Like, I want you to win. I want you to be
I
healed. I want you
want better for
healthy.
you.
You know what I'm saying? But if
I
you
want
don't
better for
want it for
you,
yourself,
and me wanting
I'm going to step
it for
back.
you. Yeah, exactly. You have people where sometimes wanting better for them makes you feel, because I feel like if a person isn't in a certain place of healing, right? Me wanting better for you or trying to like guide you to better makes you feel like you're not taking it the right way. You're not receiving it the right way. So you feel like you're being pushed. You feel like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You're combative about it because of how I'm trying to like guide you in this direction because you don't have that yet. And see, I'm not doing that. If we gonna have that, then yeah, okay, you can go that way, whatever. Because I'm actually giving you the tools, I'm helping you, I'm by your side, I'm being a friend, a partner, a family member, whatever. What you're not gonna do is combat me because I'm trying to see, I see the potential in you that you have not seen because I'm speaking things into you that nobody spoke into you. Like we talked about childhood, because somebody put something in your head back in the day and you're still now living in it because you haven't erased it. I'm not going to sit here and keep having that combative come towards me when all I've been doing is wanting better for you and pushing you towards that direction.
There was a great video that I saw where a mother took two brothers basically, and she was like, I want one of y'all to stand up, one of y'all to sit down. That was the whole concept. And she was just like, look, I want you to pull your brother up. And I want you on the other side to try to pull your brother's shoulder down while you're on the floor.
Mm.
And the whole intention behind that was to say it is easier to drag somebody down than it is to pull them
Oh,
up.
come on.
So if I continue to sit next to you in a space where you're comfortable staying on the floor and you're pulling at me and I'm trying to pull at you to get you up here,
I'm gonna let
then
go.
eventually I'm going to fall down. Like, right? I'm going to fall down
Mm-hmm.
unless I let
I'm gonna
go.
let go.
And so that's it. You know what
And
I'm
the fact,
saying? No rhyme or reason.
the
I
fact
always
is,
feel like one of my missions is to uplift and to motivate, and I'm always going to do that. But at a certain extent, the self motivation has to kick in for a lot of people, and we have to be able, just even like I say this, we all have to start to speak words of encouragement to uplift ourselves to get to a space where we're making better choices, even when it comes to the people we put around us.
no, that's the fact. Because like I said, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go of the rope because now, like we talked about, we are at that age now. Like you said, we ain't that 20 no more. I'm not sitting up here getting pulled down or nothing by nobody. I'm gonna let go. Love you, but when you get off your feet, come holler at me. I tried, it didn't work. You try to pull me down with you. I'm not doing that. I'm not at the stage where I let anybody pull me down or do anything of that nature. No.
You know, so interesting. I had a conversation the other day about family specifically, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about like getting to a new phase of life and reconnecting with family members that you may have become estranged from.
Mm.
And I'm like, I decided recently to join my family. We call it the Cousins Committee,
Okay.
right? So on our Cousins Committee, it's a group of us from all different sides of the family, spread all over different places in the U.S., and we've been getting together trying to plan a family reunion. And I was like, when did I get this old that I'm a part of the Cousins Committee that plans the family reunion? Like, what's happening?
Oh,
But
okay.
baby, that's where we at. That's where we at. And so a part of the conversation I was having with my friend, he was just like, well, at least you feel like you have that ability to reach out to your family and connect with them. And I had to say, what's stopping you? Right? I was like, it took for me to get to a very healed place in my life
Mhm.
to determine what I place a value on, right? Our time on this life is very precious. And anything that may have shifted or altered relationships, now, if it was something that really, really hurt you and was harmful to you, I can
Mhm.
understand putting space and distance.
Yeah.
But if there's something that you can repair in those familiar relationships, work on that, because a healed person can literally open their heart and start fresh chapters. And so I felt like just having this experience with my family allows me to reconnect and maybe also repair some relationships, not ones that I personally feel like I've broken, but maybe some relationships that needed some mending from generations back.
Yeah.
And you can only get to this space, like I feel like when you get older, where you start to value those things.
True. Because I also tell people sometimes I feel like you said, the relationship kind of got messed up a little bit. Because sometimes of how, like you said, with the past and different things weren't explained correctly to all family members. Everybody kind of has a different story sometimes when it comes to like the family history and what happened and what this person went through, what my mama did to such and such, and the sister this, and your auntie this, and da 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 da. And now, because of that dynamic and things that happened, you kind of like lost connection with these family members. So sometimes you have to have that sit down to be like, okay, this is what happened to why the distance happened between us. This is what such and such did. This is what whatever. To have that kind of conversation.
You know, so I feel like in effort for me to thrive, I have to move with a healed heart.
Yeah.
And that does take explanation. Sometimes it does take you and your loved one sitting at the table or sitting over the phone and having those deep-seated conversations that allow you to clear up some misunderstandings. Or even just say, you know what? That was so long ago that that's no longer sitting on my heart.
It
Like
don't bother me.
sometimes you can be so upset or so angry about something and no longer remember the foundation of what started it. right?
That's a
And
fact.
it goes on too long. And sometimes we take on other generational baggage, right? So if great great grandma, great great grandpa, or somebody's cousin twice removed was mad at cousin Joe from the other side, we don't speak to cousin Joe no more. And cousin Joe ain't do nothing the rest of anybody,
He just
right?
did something, and that's why I said it's the story behind it. Where
Mm-hmm.
like nobody really explained the story, but now that you know, you like, I'm mad for nothing. I ain't had to stop talking to Uncle Joe. He, like you say, he ain't do nothing to nobody. But that's not how it was brought to you. But it happens, like you said, it happens even in regular relationships, or you know what I'm saying. Where like, how many times have you got in an argument about something, been mad for some days, then be like, I don't even know why we were mad.
We don't even know what we fighting
We know
about,
we
right?
fighting about.
Or just like, I feel like holding on to anger, and we've discussed this before, is one of those emotions that can be consuming.
Yes.
And I feel like if you let something like anger consume you, it'll affect everything that you touch. Everything that you touch will be impacted by holding on to negativity and negative feelings. So I feel like for anyone who's in a space where they want to heal, or they've already arrived at that point where I healed my inner child, I healed myself from the trauma, I went to therapy, I went to church, I meditated, I can now mend relationships. Like I can now get into a space where I can reconnect with people and start fresh.
But you
And
know
like I
what?
said, and see people for who they are.
I'm also appreciative people were like, at least try. I'm not saying you even gotta be around me fully healed, because like I said, all of us are still doing the work. But at least try. At least try to do something to take that weight up off you. Try to do something to take that frustration off you. Try to do something to take that weight off you that you've been carrying around for so long and you tired of carrying it. So everybody that you putting on definitely tired of carrying it, because you putting it on us and we ain't even did nothing to you.
But you know what? Sometimes I feel like people jump in too early. You got to know. So when you think that you're at a certain point in your life, you'll know when you've tested. There's going to be so many things that come up against you to make you know whether or not you're ready to re-engage with people and start to have healthier and happier relationships.
Ooh,
Because I'm
ooh.
gonna tell you, so many times you got people woo signs, too many people are like, man, I'm prayed up, like nothing's gonna get me out of character, everything is good. And then
Uh-huh.
that one statement, that
And
one
then
comment,
one
that one
comment,
act,
all of a sudden somebody said Beetlejuice 3 times and they pop up, the person that you needed not to be around you, all type of stuff. Nope.
right? And I'm back to who I
Nope.
was. I'm saying
Now I'm
I'm
back.
big
I'm back
gangster.
that quick.
Like
That
that's
quick, I'm
it.
about to turn 5 to 10 because you done came back in my in my aura messing up stuff.
So I said,
So
you gotta order your steps and make sure that you're paying attention to those steps in your journey to really know, like, hey, if I get around this person, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, I'm not gonna let them impact me. I gotta be able to remove myself and walk away and know that I kept my sanity. I kept
mhm,
my dignity intact. Like, you know what I'm saying? It didn't shake me to the point where now I'm coming out of character,
that's right.
because real healing doesn't mean that you're never going to have bad days or struggles when it comes to your relationships, but you're better able to communicate in your relationships. You're better able to handle some of the difficulties that surface in relationships without being destructive. And I think that's
That's
the
right.
biggest thing. You don't want to be destructive in all aspects of your life when you're trying to heal or when you're operating in a healed space.
Mm. And I thank you. For anybody who is still watching, who has watched us before, it's Savage Question time.
Ow. Okay, savage question time.
Okay. So the question is, could you be with somebody who loved you even if you didn't love them?
Mm.
Yeah, go let that sit in your spirit.
So I'm gonna say this right now,
Mama always told me.
right?
Okay.
And you know what? I get so many dirty looks. Like when I say this, I grew up with my mother saying to me, "Make sure he loves you more than you love him." And I know for any of the fellas who are hearing that, they're like, "What?"
Like,
Like,
say
and now,
what?
but it's a real thing. They say, "Make sure
The man
he loves you
loves you more. That is
then you love
definitely
him.
a saying. Like I said, my mother told me, make sure that man loves you more than you love him.
And I feel like when I woke up, at this big grown age, it resonates and it clicks. And I think it speaks to who we are as human beings, as men and women in existence. Like, we love differently.
Yes,
We love differently. We
we do.
sacrifice in different ways, right? We
Yes.
contribute to the relationship in very different ways. So I feel like when you are in a situation with somebody and they're loving on you, you still have to at least be in that, right? Like, I still have to love you back. I
Yeah.
can't say that it's fair for you to love all over me and I'm just like, hey, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Like, I can't do that.
So I
Like,
feel like with the saying how they're like, oh, make sure that man loves you more than you love him, it's not saying you don't love him. So with this question, to be like, can I be with a man who loves me if I don't love him? Like to not love that man at all? Yeah, we got a problem.
no.
I can't do that. That's not gonna
So,
work for me.
I had a friend who she spoke about her parents coming from India and how they were in an arranged marriage, right?
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh, my mother told me plain. She grew to love my father."
I've heard that
And
before.
I was like, she grew to love him. I was like, that's a rough one. How long did it take her? Because I had follow-up questions, right? And
How
she was
long
like,
y'all been married?
well, I'm
How
one
long
of
your parents
like,
been married?
she got like 6 siblings. So I was like, they was getting to the love. The love was happening. So I know love was being made at some point.
But you
But
know
I'm
what?
like, when did she
Maybe it's one of
fall
those
from?
things where you have people. It could be one of those things because, like you said, everybody loves differently. So you do have women and men do it too, but are in relationships where like I have love for you. I'm not in love with you. So I have to grow to be in love with you. But because I have love for you, it's certain things I'm willing to do with you. It's certain things, okay, we can go out, we can do this. It's a certain amount of care that I do have for you, but I'm not in love with you.
Let me tell you, but you move two different ways when you're in those spaces, right?
You
The
ain't
love that
lying.
you have for somebody may allow you to do certain things for them and with them. When you are in love with somebody, people in
You
love
move.
can tend to be foolish, right? And so they can go off the deep. When you have that type of love or devotion to someone, you operate in a different space. It's very different than having care or love for somebody. I call that deep like. I like you a lot.
I like
I like you a lot, but I'm contemplating on if it's enough for me to call it love because love can stand the test of time. When people have to
change.
realize, you know what I'm saying? Like
Like
changes.
like will get you left on a Wednesday. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Like will get you left just because.
I could like you today and
And
not
I
even want to look at you
talk to you. I'm
tomorrow.
like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be disgusted with you the very next day. Shit, I could like you 5 minutes ago and then have a whole different energy towards you. But when you love somebody, the core of that, no matter what argument, no matter what situation you're experiencing with this person, that's a foundation. The love is still there.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I don't start a relationship in a space where we're building towards loving each other in that capacity,
We gonna have a problem. It's gonna
you
be a
have a
problem.
problem. Because if you loving on me and I'm distant, you ain't gonna get to my heart. It's like it don't take
Ah,
it
no,
ain't
for real.
easy to build. Like,
And like I said, it is one of those things where you know you don't like to point out the obvious, but it has to be something about you. Like it's kind of one of those things like, oh well, the question with people like, oh well, if they bone ugly, like it got to be something about you that kind of something has to be there. I cannot. No. Come on now.
okay, so I have had friends who have referred to me as being shallow about certain things, and I'll
Because
say
you want him to be a looker.
it's not just a looker. Okay, I want him to be a thinker, a
Oh,
looker, a reader, a
okay,
writer, a payer, a doer,
okay.
a
Ain't no
mover, a
wrong with
shaker,
that. I
a
tell people.
popper, all of
Ain't no
that.
wrong with that. I tell people this though, when it comes to look though, like I can't roll over and be like, like that's not gonna work for me. Like if we could never be in a relationship, while I look at your face and be like, ooh, damn, like
You know
nah,
what I'm
that's not
saying?
gonna work. So if I'm
You have
shallow
to
for
be
that, I take it.
Let me tell you,
I think
everybody doesn't have to find your partner attractive, but I do. This is my whole thing. It's like attraction is different. Like I said, if the person ain't walking around with you like, oh, like he's supermodel fine, that's your, you know what I'm saying? I ain't worried
listen.
about what everybody else is looking at. But you have to be attracted to me. I gotta be able to look at you and engage you in a way where I feel like I'm hot and bothered. I'm turned up. I like what I see when I'm
I
walking into
want
the
to
door.
feel forced to have to leave with you at the end of the
Like
day.
I'm cool if you touch me. You ever go out someplace, or you out at a club, a lounge, or whatever the case is, and some dude try to talk to you, and he just lean in. He may try to touch your arm or
And you
touch
go
your
like,
shoulder. And you got and you hit him with a. I can't be in no relationship with somebody and I'm dodging like that. I'm just like, man, go
stop.
sit down. Don't touch me.
I've seen people like that. That like you can see. Like I've been on dates with people where you can see sometimes like the like discomfort of like, are they touching me? Like is your hand on my arm? Did you just touch my kneecap? Like,
I'm gonna tell you,
uh,
there's nobody more honest. I'm gonna tell you, your mama, your best friend, a sister, or a cousin will tell you whether or not you really like somebody. And I hands down, I had my friend one day. I was like, oh yeah, I'm talking to this guy. I was like, it's really cool. Like it's good vibes between us. My friend was like, you don't like him. I was like, what do you mean? Because she's like, when you like somebody, you talk about them a certain way, right?
yes,
You have a certain passion about how you discuss the person. It shows me that you're interested. You don't like him.
yeah,
She was like, he
yes.
sounds like he's cool. Y'all sound like y'all friends. You
He
sound like you
alright.
can hang out with him. He all right, but you don't like him. And I had to sit on that one day and I was like, babe, wait.
You know what's crazy? The fact that you had to sit on that, and yet you were the same friend that has told me that. You're
What?
the same friend who has looked at me and been like, I know you're forcing this.
Like, you, because sometimes that's the reality is it takes somebody from the outside looking in too to be like, I know you and I really know you and we rock together. And when you are all in, it shows up in so many different ways. And
You
when you
smile
faking
from
the
ear to
funk,
ear.
baby,
You smile from ear to ear. Everything
you
is
smile from
everything.
ear to ear. Girl, your stroll is
You,
different. Your vibe is
the way you
different.
talk about the person is different. You'll be when it's somebody you just like, you be like, they all right. They is all right. Like you don't know what to say.
And
When it's somebody that you kind of like, you be like, they all right. They are nice. It's like that little syndrome when people be like, when you see an ugly baby, you be like, they some nice shoes. Like you don't know what to say about the person. You know what I mean?
ooh, look at the baby little onesie. That onesie cute. That's a cute onesie. Look at that.
It's a cute little outfit there, ain't it?
You
Like, and
know?
that's how it is when it's that guy. You're just kind of like, yeah, he's a nice he's a nice provider. He's all right. He's a nice wholesome man. That's all you can really say for real.
And I can see that in so many different cultures that does exist as a factor. Like people navigate relationships for very different reasons. And, we kind of touch base on that. When I learned about my friends' parents having an arranged marriage, like I said, I looked at it with no judgment, but I also viewed it in a way where I was like, dang, I'm glad it worked out for your mama. Like, I'm glad your mama found peace in that situation because, honest to God, truth, I would feel like no one
Could have
wants to
went
be in a
left.
loveless marriage. No one wants to be in a loveless marriage, relationship. No one, no one wants to be in anything that's unhealthy. So if it doesn't start off in a space where we're building towards the same thing together, why do it? Like, I
We're
wouldn't
doing it.
want even. I feel like I would be selfish putting a man through that. If a man was like, "Man, I love you with my heart and soul," and I was like, "You cool?" I would feel like
Yeah, and
I was
also,
selfish.
let's be real. Karma gets you back in the worst. I don't need karma coming back and biting on my ass like that. Because let me tell you, karma will come back and chew your ass up when you sit up here and be like, well, like, no, I'm good, baby. Look, you cool. We can be friends. We can even hang out from time to time. But for you to love me as much as this, that, the third, it's not me. I don't got that for you, poo poo.
True. You know what? I also say this, right? Like, marriage has always been a social contract, and I'm talking about people who, in their relationships, blossom to a point of marriage,
Mm-hmm.
where there are certain reasons why people get married, and a lot of it is financially based, right? So I feel like if before marriage we're courting each other or dating each other, right? Just building that foundation. I have to know that the person that I'm investing my time in, that we at least click on some, like I said, foundational things.
Something.
How we view, like how we feel about family, how we handle our finances, how we have to
Our
at
faith.
least,
How
you know,
we handle a lot of things.
how we handle faith, right? What we
Yeah.
believe in. I mean, at least 80% gotta be there. If 20% of me has doubts, a good 80 gotta be intertwined with another
So the 80
individual, right? Like,
there you gotta be
exactly.
locked in.
If he's like, I love you 100% of the time, I was like, at least 75, I got you. 75% of the time, I'm like, you're mine.
I'm
You know what I'm
here.
saying? Because that'll, to me, will sustain us. That will get us a lot further. And like you said, there's different phases of love. Like as you get older, like I may be saying this right now, down the line, somebody who sticks with you through any trial and tribulation, I think that you can develop stronger feelings for them. Like, I heard somebody say this the other day, and it really did. They were like, my partner came into my life after losing a loved one that was very close to me.
Ooh.
And I was like, Now I took that as, was that like a trauma bond? Did that person come at a time where you needed some support and that forced the connection? Or was that person the shoulder that you needed and they continued to show you that and be that best type of support that allowed you to see that individual as somebody you could spend more time with and build a healthy relationship with? So, it's a
Ooh.
catch
Well,
22.
I'm gonna tell you this, friend. On that note, we ain't gonna give it too much more. We ain't gonna give it too much more. Y'all gonna have to come back now. Y'all gonna have to come back in 2 weeks. Y'all have to come see us back. So,
Facts, 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 facts.
like normal, we appreciate everybody that tuned in, commented, everything else. We love y'all. As y'all know, I'm Lady A Savage.
And it's your girl, Miss Well and Woe. So if you guys remember, hit that like, subscribe, share button. The full episode is going to be on Lady A Savage and Miss Well and Woke's YouTube pages. Follow us on Instagram. Follow Miss Well and Woke on Facebook. Follow the YouTube pages. Really, really like get in the thread and in the conversation,
Yeah.
y'all. And if there's something that you want to see, hit us in the DM. We want to talk about it all because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna hurt in the beginning, but then it's gonna heal.
What? So, like she said, also with me, you can find me on Instagram, Lady A Savage, TikTok, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, we love the interaction. We love everything about it. Also, any Savage questions that y'all would like to hear in any future episode, please DM me about it. We all growing together.
All
That's
right.
what we doing.
So y'all have a great one, Royals, and we'll see y'all in 2.
All right.